Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Brandon Bird, just doing this cruise. Cruising over here in Houston on a Saturday. It's actually pretty nice. Right now, there's a bunch of traffic, so, what can I say? But yeah, man, I want to really jump into it. I really want to talk about the migration of, basically of humans and other subspecies of humans. I always tell people, man, a lot of people, you have a lot of scientists that want to talk about the outer Africa theory. And I told a lot of people, Africa is the source of all life, at least human life. Actual evolution of human life, yes. But there are multiple species that are also left, not just humans, but other humanoids species that left. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they already found discoveries of Neanderthal. They already came to a conclusion Neanderthal is not technically human beings. It come from a whole different evolution process. The Densiovians were also discovered at least about 10 years ago, but still fairly new to be actually have they're actually a hyper subspecies. They got some Neanderthal and Homo sapien. Now the Homo sapien part, there's different subclasses in the Homo sapien family. So like what Cro-Magnon would be. Cro-Magnon is part of the Homo sapien genofamily, but it's actually a subspecies. But the thing about the scientists, they know it's a subspecies, but they really don't want to alienate themselves or almost disqualify themselves of being, being human beings. So that's why they really haven't really did nothing with the Cro-Magnons. I mean, Cro-Magnon is actually in a solo box. It's not really with anything. It's not classified as a species. It's not really classified as nothing. They what they want to call is early human European humans of Europe. That's basically what a Cro-Magnon is. You know what I'm saying? It's the earliest of what they call modern humans of Europeans. Like I said, the Cro-Magnons was actually migrated out of Asia. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you get. There's actually 4 subspecies of European. Sub races of Europeans. You got the Mediterranean, Nordic, you got the Alpine race, and then you got the Dinara race. The Alpine race is more the Eurasians. They come from like the parts of Russia all the way to some parts of Germany and some part of like Hungary and some parts, that area. Almost going toward almost some parts of Germany. Well, the Dinarian race is more like Poland, some parts of Russia, northern parts of Russia, um, some place near Belgium, near Bosnia, Croatia, and certain areas of that area too. That's called the Dinarians. And then you have the two basically older, or basically the more two distinct sub races, the Manchurian and Nordic. But the Cro-Magnons actually migrated. Now it's crazy how they migrated because they actually migrated into Asia, and then several thousand years later, about 6,000-7,000 because they migrated to Asia like almost about 15, like about 20, 20, 50, 30 years, about 20, 15,000 years. Well, the actual migration was over about 130, like 130, 200,000 years ago. But them actually going into Europe was around 7,000 years ago. I mean, not 7,000, but at least about 12 to 13,000 years ago when they came out of Asia. But the Cro-Magnon was always, you know, it was like a confusing box because they're part of they're part of the Homo sapien genus family, but they're technically not from the same species as what we are in the Homo sapien. So that's basically a different subspecies, but they really don't want to alienate themselves because that will put them far below the evolution chain. And I always tell people, you know, a lot of people be saying, you know, well, we're all Africans. I said, no, not technically, because most of the human beings that's now in this world now, they came from total different evolution process, and they're like the diversion of Neanderthals and maybe going back to another ape-like species. They were humanoid, but they were more ape-like out of the Caucasus Mountain, and I think they was about 7 million years old, but they were a totally different hue. They're not humans. They were like more of an ape-like type of creature that evolved to the Neanderthal. So you have a lot of different subdiversion evolution periods that was going on at the time. So basically, I always tell people, man, if you it's like the rod in the pudding. You know, we all come from different evolution strains. Maybe your particular ancestral, and I'm being generalization with this, is probably a different species than what my ancestors are. And yeah, we did came from the same continent, but we're not the same species. I mean, from more of interbreeding and so far, yeah, we probably eventually became what is now modern human beings. But our evolution process and in the periods that we came from in our lineage is totally completely different. And I think a lot of people need to understand that. Now, you do have some of the dominant society that don't really want to hear that their whole evolution is literally coming from animals or coming from something that's really non-human. But, and I'm not totally not going shit on that either. I'm just kind of letting you know there are multiple humanoid species in Africa at the time when our ancestor was pretty much being developed and leaving Africa. So there are multiple human species leaving Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the 5 major races of humans wouldn't have such a different characteristic and physical appearance from physical and psychology's sense of identifying if it wasn't an evolution process that started from that. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people that life of maybe somewhat of a human of a human type of a gene family is maybe technically somewhat similar, but we're not the same. Most Africans from that's sub-Saharan Africans, they don't got no genetic imprints or signature of something of a humanoid species. So you definitely gotta have to understand what evolution is. But I'll probably jump a little bit more about that in the next video. I really want to jump more into Cro-Magnon because that's what I really want to get into, because I think there's a lot of question marks with that, with the Cro-Magnon. All right, I'll leave you guys. I'll leave you guys probably tomorrow with a little bit more of a solid, a solid share than this one. All right, one.